Hi ladies and dudes, this is Rebecca Barkley, aka Boobon1970. This is my review for today. And today's review, ladies and dudes, well my friends, it's that time again for another top 5 list that nobody has never done before. And this top 5 list is going to be about another cool unknown questions video. And this brand new unknown questions video is going to be about the top 5 most forgotten unknown questions for movies. And this is something that nobody has never done before, is find some good unknown questions that involves one of your most favorite movies of all time. And there's a lot of good unknown questions that is kind of unknown to you. For real. So anyway, without further ado, ladies and dudes, let's head on to my top 5 most forgotten unknown questions for movies. So let's get on to number 5. And number 5 is one of your favorite gangster movies of all time called Scarface. And I will say for Scarface, it was an okay movie. There were a few parts I liked here and there, but I only saw some parts of the movies here and there. I haven't seen the whole thing. But the biggest problem I have with this movie is the characters. The characters were all frickin' pointless. Even the main character as well. But there's only one character I do like in this movie, and this very cool Bay character is truly one of the best. So anyway, for number 5 is, who is this mysterious dude wearing these sunglasses from Scarface? Now the reason why I want to ask you this question is, we never seen this mysterious dude before. The only thing I remembered is he came at the end of the movie. The part where he killed Tony. And to tell you the truth is, I frickin' love this guy. He is so darn mysterious. I mean, he had no dialogue, he has no words to say, he's a really cool character, and I do like the part where he killed Tony at the end, for real. And to tell you the truth is, as for Tony, he is definitely the most weakest character in the whole entire movie. I'm sorry, I really don't like this guy at all. He talks too much, he babbles, he smokes cigars, drink alcohol, and, being a rich dude and all that stuff. But the only 2 things I like about Tony is his Tommy gun and say hello to my little friend. I will say those are the only 2 things I like about Tony, but for the rest, no. He's definitely the most weakest character in the whole entire movie. But as for that guy at the end, he was frickin' awesome. Definitely one of the best parts in the whole entire movie. So anyway, who is this mysterious dude in the sunglasses from Scarface? It deserves to be at number 5. Okay, for number 4 will be a tiebreaker between this, this really unknown vampire movie called The Interview with the Vampire. And this unknown question is all about that came from in the vampire stage. And one of the most biggest unknown questions I'll never forget. So anyway, for number 4 is, who is this blonde girl who showed up in the vampire stage? And for this blonde-haired girl, is she a part of the play? Or it could be the real deal for these evil vampire perverts, if you know what I mean. So anyway, the reason why I want to ask you this question is, it's in the part in Power's Friends where Louie and, I forgot the girl's name, they're trying to check out this mysterious type of Broadway Paris show, whichever you want to call it. You're going to see a bunch of vampires who are trying to pretend as human beings and try to play different type of characters, where this Grim Reaper guy is trying to make up some silly short stories where it's all about life and death. And to tell you the truth, that's one of the best parts I really like about this movie, is a Grim Reaper trying to make up some silly old short stories about life and death. It was so darn hilarious. But not until this blonde-haired girl shows up and all the vampire dudes were surrounding her. Trying to torture her, taking off her clothes, and this guy dressing up as a Grim Reaper, he wants to use her as a bride, mating her, I guess, and all that stuff until Antonio Banderas shows up to the stage, and he tried to give the girl comfort, and not until this unknown thing happened is, he took off the last bit of her clothing, and he began to neckbite her and start lifting her naked body up in the air, and let the vampire dudes to do whatever they want. And to tell you the truth is, when I saw that scene, that was the most embarrassing thing I have ever seen in the whole entire movie. So, for my biggest unknown question is, who is this mysterious blonde-haired girl, and why is she in the stage? Is she part of the play, or could be the real deal? You decide. So anyway, I decided to put that at number 4. Okay, for number 3 is, if you guys remembered my movie review of the Moulin Rouge, there was one simple unknown question that I forgot to put on my movie review, and I do feel sorry for myself that I did not put it in there because I don't want to make it way too long. But anyway, at number 3 is, did Christian do the rightful thing to tell Satine the truth about that he's not really a duke, he is just a writer? And now the reason why I want to ask you this question is, as you may know, the main character for any movie, I think it will be the rightful thing to tell the person that you like or love the awful truth about trying to be somebody like you're not. And thanks to Toulouse-Lautrec, I think he was the one who made up a plan to disguise Christian as a rich person named the Duke, where, try to get ready to sign this stupid piece of paper and become a part of this code to the deed to the Moulin Rouge. Something like that. But the main plan is Toulouse wants Satine and Christian to be together and, start knowing each other, start falling in love, and I hope that their love will stay together as one, if you know what I mean. And yeah, Satine and Christian began to know each other. They began to fall in love in a nice, quickie way until there was a part where when Satine is finally in love with Christian and she believes that Christian is a very young, handsome, talented duke, and Christian was like, what? I'm a duke? And he was thinking maybe it'll be the rightful thing for Christian to tell Satine the truth that he's not really a writer. I mean, he's not really the Duke, he's just truly a writer. And Satine was like, what? You're a writer? I can't believe it! I can't believe I fell in love with this fraud who's not really the Duke. A guy who wants to coach at the Deets for the Moulin Rouge. If you know what I mean. It was frickin' crazy. I wish I could tell you more, but I decided to put that on number 3. Okay, for number 2, here's an unknown question that came from your most favorite movie of all time from Pixar called Up. A part where these dogs are mistaking poor Russell as a small mailman. He's not really a mailman at all. He's just a normal boy who was trying to take care of an old man while they're taking care of a floated house with a bunch of balloons. So anyway, for number 2 is, why are these dogs mistaking Russell as a small mailman? To tell you the truth is, I think the dogs were thinking that Russell is some type of, maybe a small mailman in training, trying to give everybody their mail in a city, town, or whatever. But to tell you the truth is, Russell's no small mailman. He's just a normal type of Boy Scout, some wilderness explorer. He wants to do some exploring things, and his most important job is try to take care of an elderly person so he can get this elderly badge. And yeah, that's Russell's job. He wants to take care of Mr. Fredrickson, whatever he needs, so while they're in a journey in South America. But not until those dogs were, giving a report to Doug and trying to know where he is and did he found the bird or not. And thanks to the little small screen thingy, they were surprised to see Russell in that little TV. And that's where it all happens. They mistaken him as a mailman and not a Boy Scout. That was so darn hilarious, but yet so embarrassing at the same time. So anyway, for number 2 is, why are these dogs mistaking Russell as a small mailman? Beats me. And now, anyway, ladies and dudes, let's head on to my number 1 most biggest unknown question of all time. This one will may surprise you, shock you, or rather be impressed. And this one involves one of my most favorite movies of all time, or truly one of the most underrated films ever in movie history. So anyway, for number 1 goes to, for my most favorite Liam Neeson film of all time, Taken 2. And this movie has one big unknown question that'll be kind of easy to solve. So anyway, for number 1 is, what do you think of these 2 mysterious scores that came from the near end of Taken 2? The reason why I want to ask you this question is, there is 2 familiar scores that I remember that Liam Neeson was working on for so many years. There was one score that kind of reminds me of Batman Begins, while the other is some score that kind of reminds me of the Schindler's List. If you guys have or haven't seen my top 5 most epic scores of the Taken 2 soundtrack, I want you guys to pay attention to these 2 main scores very carefully. Because there was one score that kind of reminds me, between the final showdown between Batman and Ra's al Ghul, the part where Brian Mills is hanging on to his last fight to face that evil Papoya dude's leader's bodyguard, while the other score that kind of reminds me from the Schindler's List is like somebody had died way too soon when those evil Nazis had killed some of the Jewish people. And I'm sure Oscar Schindler was too heartbroken to see so many Jewish people dying. And the score that also involves the death of the Papoya dude leader that Brian Mills killed at the near end. And to tell you the truth is, about the main score that came from the near end of Taken 2, the death of the Papoya dude leader guy, you gotta listen to this type of score very carefully. One score that evolves in the soundtrack, you will listen to that violin feel to it. The dark, edgy score that has the violin feel to it, while the other one in the movie, it has no violin feel to it at all. And to tell you the truth is, it doesn't matter which version I like from the movie or the soundtrack, I really do like both. Both the score that has no violin feel to it, while the other does have the violin feel to it. I want you guys to go back and rewatch this movie, because this movie was so darn underrated. And please pay attention to these 2 scores very carefully, because I think these 2 main scores is another good strong point for the movie. So anyway, what do you think of these 2 mysterious scores from the near end of the Taken 2 movie? Deserves to be the number 1 most biggest unknown question ever in movie history. So anyway, ladies and dudes, that's my top 5 most forgotten unknown questions for movies. I hope you enjoyed this list, and remember, ladies and dudes, it's time to find so many unknown questions to be found from all the movies that we enjoy from our childhood to adulthood. Something that'll be kind of surprising to you. And I really want to know is, what type of unknown questions for movies that I really truly forgot to put on this list? Whichever it is, leave a comment there and let me know. And join me tomorrow for my next top 5 list to come. And it's my top 5 most best performance from this most underrated actor of all time, Alan Rickman. So be prepared for that new list to come, and I'll see you all later. Sayonara.